Hello guys, I'm so excited that finally I have just received my new book, The Bible of Bodybuilding. It's a book that consists of 400 pages. You can purchase this book on Amazon, and this book contains my former books, The PDs Used in Sports and the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, plus the Training, Nutrition, Supplementation, but also including extra features, Q&As about gear, about HRT, but also a quiz regarding supplements, diet, and of course PEDs. So the Bible of Bodybuilding on Amazon, both on ebook and Kindle version.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Touliatos, brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding, which I left back home. I'm in Florida right now. So please welcome all the way from Athens, Greece, Dr. George Touliatos. How are you, Doc?
Hello, Ron. How are the things in Florida?
They're hot, very hot.
Hot and humid, eh?
It's actually not that hot. It's like 80, 85 at the most, but this is April, early April. It should be, back home, it's still like 40 degrees in the morning, 30 degrees in the morning back in Boston.
It's about 65 over here. Saturday.
Wow. Okay, not bad, not bad. Yeah. I mean, I said I would never move down here, but now my wife and I are thinking maybe when we retire, maybe. It's not bad. Some very nice areas. We were in Key Biscayne yesterday. Beautiful. Yeah, it's an island. The Florida Keys are just, they go all the
Key West, yeah, it's in south, huh?
Yeah, I haven't been to Key West. That's like a 4-hour drive south of Miami. You got to keep going and going. It's like almost in Cuba. So, all right, doctor. So we're doing this show remote, but here we go. Let's start it off with a question from one of our good friends, Gus Poulos. Gus wants to know, hello, doc. My question is, every time I would cycle on Anadrol and test, I would be able to bench 315 for 1 rep. However, the last few cycles I've gone on Anadrol and test, my strength is not what it used to be. There are no other variables in my lifestyle that would have a negative impact on my strength. What do you think is the cause?
Maybe it's fake the Anadrol. I don't know. Maybe sometimes we hit a plateau. I don't know about your nutrition, your glycogen storage, but it seems like if you change your Anadrol, then perhaps maybe it's underdose. Who knows? If you use another dose test, if you change compounds, if you change brand, underground lab brand, many could be multifactorial.
I mean, he could have some kind of tendon pain or injury, he didn't mention that.
But just sleep, everything,
Yeah. I mean, are you always as strong? Don't you have days where you can't?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I bet that I would be lucky if once a week I would do my personal best. I don't challenge myself anymore. It's around 1 year since my surgery now officially. And I have to tell you that I don't push myself to the limit. Nevertheless, I was able to do this transformation, with smart weight.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Gus is a bodybuilder, a power lifter, or just likes to lift weights, but I don't think bodybuilders should be testing their 1 rep maximum. I think it's too dangerous.
Well, Michael Hearn spoke with Giles about connective tissue and bone strength, But first of all, Mike is a class on his own. But nevertheless, Mike does not go below 4 reps. He doesn't do single reps.
Yeah.
In order to strengthen the connective tissue and the bone, And of course, Michael takes all the supplements. He does perfect form. I don't know if he's HRT enhanced, but it doesn't mean everybody should imitate Mike. I tried to imitate Mike with a single rep, and I broke my disc. So it's not a smart idea.
Yeah. Yeah. He is not a regular human being. He is definitely another species almost, because he's 53 years old. He's built better than he ever was. He's still squatting and bench pressing and deadlifting all these heavy weights.
I didn't ask him, don't you have a 1 bulge disc?
I mean, he's still squatting 700 pounds. He's still doing behind neck press with 315. That's insane. That's insane for anybody, but for a 53-year-old man that's been training, I think he said he's been lifting weights since he was like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah,
So,
it's unbelievable.
geez. Anyway, that's Mike. Okay, here's a longer question, but it's about arachidonic acid, which Bill Llewellyn was one of the pioneers of. So this guy, Mr. T, wants to know, does arachidonic acid help build muscle as explained in Anabolics? That's Bill's book. If it does for a natural bodybuilder, which other supplements or herbs can they use along with it? I've been training since 2008 and did my first cycle on 2017 to compete. Was really into bodybuilding, but coaches in the United Arab Emirates effed my mind with very high dosages and too frequent injections, which resulted in injury. I stopped the gear since 2019 December and haven't touched it since. I've been referring books from William, George, and videos of Thomas. All you guys really saved my health and my life. So what supplements or combinations can a natural bodybuilder take to help him increase muscle mass?
So as Bill Llewellyn explains in his book, you can use the arachidonic acid post-cycle. Okay, the so-called off-cycle therapy. That means what we use with supplements after the PCT is over.
Yeah.
So you stack arachidonic acid. You can take it with a fatty meal pre-workout, with a last meal actually before training. So let's say lunch if you train late in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And what's supposed to do is to increase your muscle inflammation locally, not systemically, and that leads to muscle soreness, you know, in the long run. And you can stack it with creatine monohydrate, beta-alanine, sorry.
Yeah.
And of course, with carnosine, it's also the same with beta-alanine. And you can also, of course, stack it with leucine and glutamine, of course. So all the ergogenic supplements.
Creatine, how about creatine?
Absolutely, monohydrate post-workout in order to be assimilated for your next workout, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, with proper amount of protein, carbs, caloric surplus, and enough of sleep, of course.
Yeah. Hey, do they have a big creatine shortage over in Greece? Did I already ask you that?
You asked me that, but in the States it is, huh?
Oh, it's very hard to get now. Very hard to get. It's all on back order when you're trying to order it from places.
Yeah, it was the FIBO last week, you know, last weekend.
Yeah.
In Germany produces the finest creatine worldwide, you know, the Creapure.
Right.
It's microionized and microionized, yes. So that has great, it's dissolved in the water, fantastic, you know?
Yeah. You've been to FIBO, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, once in 2016, 6 years ago.
It's on my bucket list. I got to go to FIBO one day. I hear it's huge, like 5 times the size of the Arnold, their expo. Okay. Next question is prolactin. My prolactin level is 1,000. My endocrinologist says the average level for an adult male is between 80 and 200. Don't know if that's correct, but my endocrinologist doesn't want to give me a prescription for cabergoline. So my question is, are there any substances or supplements that effectively reduce my prolactin levels?
Well, I assume, first of all, that he has prolactinoma. It is a benign tumor in the hypophysis, you know, that releases prolactin, and you can find this out with an MRI, brain MRI, you know?
Yeah.
And then you can use alternatively a bromocriptine, which is a dopamine agonist that shuts off the anterior lobe of the hypophysis that releases prolactin, you know?
Yeah.
So we have cabergoline and bromocriptine, which is the parallel drug.
Yeah.
But first of all, find out if you have a prolactinoma, you know, and things that induce prolactin release is stress, insomnia. All right, so check it out if your sleep is lousy, you know, if you're stressed out, you have to manage this.
So what are the main side effects if you have this prolactinemia, the very high prolactin levels?
You have puffiness in your nipple that occasionally, if you squeeze it, you know, it's milky. It's freaky, eh?
Why would we have milk? We're men. That doesn't even make sense. It's not milk. It's not milk.
We have the same gland as women, mammary gland, but, you know, the women produces milk, but when they lactate, you know, when they give birth.
So I wonder what that...
in native people, native men, prolactin antagonizes testosterone, you know, and also gives you an orgasm, meaning you cannot ejaculate finally, you know, so it's nerve-wracking work. So some it's good, but actually men that ejaculate they have primitive ejaculation. They are given SSRIs to elevate prolactin, and it's the opposite, you know?
Well, I guess you don't want to have too little prolactin. You definitely don't want too much. You want to have a normal level, like like anything else. Okay. All right. Next one is, what are some ways to tell if you missed the muscle during an injection or did the injection incorrectly? I'll do the spots I almost always do, maybe be off by a centimeter or two, and I'll occasionally have a large warm lump days after the injection. I always clean the area the same way, make sure I'm injecting correctly, but randomly I get that occasional swelling.
You know, the lump occurs in the subcutaneous, where is a fat storage, you know? The lump occurs usually in the midsection when you're lean, you know, below 10% body fat, you have visible abs, and you inject a considerable amount of oil, then you have the lump under the skin, you know, because the water-based solution, it's dissolved within hours.
Yeah.
Now, if you're fat obese, it doesn't make any difference.
That's true.
Injecting oil into the fat, you know.
Yeah.
Now, the muscle tissue is something different, you know. You inject deep, you create a scar tissue, but it doesn't give you a lump unless you inject a lot of volume, you know. So, for instance, when I used to inject 5 ml of testosterone into my butt, there was a lump.
5 ml, wow.
Yeah, I wanted to hit, you know, 2 grams a week.
That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen videos where guys do 10 ml at once. Have you seen that?
But perhaps big Ramy, but not a regular guy, you know.
So we call that a turkey baster. You know what turkey? I don't know if you use that same expression over there. Yeah, that's a lot of. You know, could that be?
No, it's 50 ml.
Wow, because he said, you know, if he's saying it's warm, that sounds like it's inflammation too, right?
Exactly. Yes. When you have warmth, means there's blood flow over there, and the leukocytes that eat up the microbes, you know, and there's inflammation organized. You know, it's red, it's hot, and it's painful also and swollen.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that. It's when I used to try my leg, my quad. It always got inflamed, always got hot and painful.
Yeah, that's not a good idea, man. It's the butt and the rear leg and the rear delt.
Yeah, leave your legs alone.
The lats, you know, occasionally.
If you could reach, you got to have a buddy. You got to have somebody do that for you. I can't reach my lat. So here we go. Next one is, if I'm going on a blast of 1 gram of test per week, how much Primo should I take with that? And does Primo aromatize? Thanks.
It does not, because it's THC derivative, but so it's a regular compound, actually, because it's DHT derivative. It improves sex drive because it crashes on SHBG, liberates free testosterone. But you can use as much as testosterone, so it doesn't have to be 2-to-1 like the DECA or Tren, you know?
Well, you've used it. I barely use it because it's hard to get here. It's very expensive, but
yeah, I've used 600 per week is something regular, casual, you know? It's a weak anabolic. You use it during diet because you don't grow seriously on Primo. It's weaker anabolic than Test, than DECA, than Acupose, you know? Yeah. It's really expensive also, but the two benefits is no estrogen, so you don't need aromatase inhibitor, and then it's not toxic.
Right, yeah. I always heard, you know, years ago, that was the big rumor, was that the great Middle Eastern bodybuilders were very heavily into Primo bowling, like high doses of Primo. But that's a rumor, who knows? We'll never know. Okay. One more? Yeah. Oh, this is 2. Just a little thumbs up for Mike. Oh, Mike is a good listener. I don't know what that's all about. I think the last one's just a compliment for you. Dr. T, this is someone from Sanita. Dr. T is a real landmark in the game. He can cover all the different sides of the game, being an athlete, a professional doctor, and has a long path from where to talk about it properly and reliable. Thanks so much, Doc, for sharing this knowledge and keeping on setting the bar higher. Yeah, wait till they...
Well, I have many haters as well. You know, this is...
Not too. You know what? If you don't have any haters, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong because nobody cares. That means nobody cares about you. So yeah, I mean,
there are some haters of mine in Greece. Actually, they live in UK, and it's fascinating how we met at the UK Arnold. And when they met me, they wanted a photograph with me. You know, so I thought we were fans. Right. So afterwards, they were started talking shit about me in their YouTube channel. And after that, when I ignored them, now they won't debate with me. So you want to debate with somebody that you curse and you say that he's ignorant. So it's crazy, you know, so it's upside down now. totally, they changed their, attitude,
Yeah.
So, but I'm used to this 10 years now,
Yeah. Well, if you go to enough of these contests and expos, you'll find a lot of the people, when you meet them in real life, they're nothing like the way they are online. The tone is different. Even the ones that are like haters and trolls.
They're chickens, they're chicken and they shut the fuck.
Yeah. They've told me that's just, I'm playing, I'm just messing with you. I'm like, well, why would you keep doing that? Just be nice, be respectful. Why not? Treat people the way you want to be treated, but oh well, who knows? Anyway, yeah, this was a quick show. I'll be back in my normal home office next week. Yeah, right. with my backdrop and all my cool stuff behind me again.
Okay, so, enjoy your living in Miami.
Well, I'm in West Palm. It's about an hour, but we spent some time in Miami. Beautiful city, beautiful city.
And work on your tan.
Yeah, I need a little more color. Today's going to be a pool day. I'm going to hit the pool today for sure. So, guys, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. If you have questions for Doctor for next week, please leave them in the comments below. We do get to all the best questions. And Doctor, we, as always, appreciate you taking the time to share your knowledge and your expertise with all these people around the world who desperately need answers from a real medical professional who knows all about PEDs, because there's not many of you in this world. And can't wait for that June MD, June Muscular Development coming out in, I think it's going to come out around third week of May. It's going to have a great feature on Dr. T. Looking forward to seeing that too. It's cool to actually see it in print. Computers, tablets, phones, that's one thing. I like to have a magazine I can look at, hold the picture, hold it up and turn the pages. Yeah. So anyway, Doctor, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And everyone, thanks for watching. Ask Dr. Testosterone. We'll see you next time.